Welcome to Global Success Stories. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. It's my pleasure and privilege to welcome you in this event that I'm doing it quite some time. Hello and welcome to Success Stories. Those who are just joining with me, welcome to the Success Stories, and this is Kamrul Hassan, your host today. So how are you doing? Hello, Mustafa Bhai. Hello, Anita Dewan. How are you? How are you doing? Hello, Sophia. There is some sound, I guess. Is it from your computer or?
Is sound there? Is sound there?
Yeah. The sound is coming. I think right now is okay.
Oh, Marie Carr, my friend from Tenerife. Sweet.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Nita. How are you? How are you doing? Shanto Hakim, Mehdi Hassan Lemon. Those who are just joining with me and Sophia, welcome everyone. How are you doing? How are you, everyone? How is going your life? So can you just, help me to get some feedback, whether you're hearing me okay, whether the sound is clear, whether the video is working. It would be wonderful to have some of your feedback as well, and feel free also to share this episode as well. If you feel that this is something you like, you can share this, and it will help us to spread the success stories event across. Okay, all good, Mehdi. Thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you. Harun Rashid Bablu, how are you? Thank you, and I welcome you for joining this event. It's really good to have you. Russell Kobirano, thank you. Thank you for joining. It's my pleasure to welcome you. Sophia, can you hear me? I'm getting some sound.
I can hear you clearly. It's wonderful. I was just juggling around a little bit because I learned 2 minutes ago that we only can do it via phone, but I hope the picture is clear and the position is good.
Yeah, so everything is good. There is some
like this? Good.
There is some sound on your background. Is it on the screen?
Yeah, these are the bells of the church. I live close to church, but this is a 6 o'clock evening running. But when we have greeted all the participants, it will stop because I have the windows open. So
okay, got it. So yeah,
it's exactly the church bells. Exactly. We'll
Great.
Stop soon.
Yeah. So I thought it is coming from somewhere in this in your computer or not. Okay.
No.
It's from the church.
It's Frankfurt Live.
Frankfurt Live. It's Frankfurt Live. Thank you. Thank you. Those are just joining with me and Sophia Jung today, joining me from Frankfurt, Germany. And I welcome Sophia and with everyone, all of you. Mr. Imran Rabbani, Mr. Thomas, welcome everyone. So can you just give me a thumbs up, those who are just joining with me, and help me to have some of your love, heart button, like buttons, and also if you really like it, just share it and help us to spread this positivities and the stories, everything. Thank you. So Sophia, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Like I just told you, even I have a broken wrist, but there's something positive in everything. It's all about perspective. Yeah, I'm feeling good, and I'm eager to spend this time with you and the audience. And I have to tell you, I truly honor you so much for all what you put out in this world. I resonated with this from the beginning, and I'm so happy that I can contribute. So thanks very much for inviting me.
It's my really sheer privilege and honor to have you on this platform and to have some knowledge and some wisdom and some sharings from your perspective. I know what a wonderful person you are and what a wonderful contribution also you are doing it throughout your work. Yeah, let me confess that you are doing it last 30 years. You're helping the CEOs to transform their life, because you have seen it from closely the top executives life, and you are trying to shape and to help them to find out their inner passion and find out the inner peace. I should also say how a person can find their inner possibilities, and and ultimately they can choose who they are and who they can be, because it's all the perspective, as you said. So tell us about your journey. We are really looking forward to have your journey so far. What journey you had?
Oh, you are so sweet, Kamrul. I always hesitate a little bit, even I know it's about success stories, but if it's okay for you, before I share my own journey, I would love to take some minutes to talk about success in general. Would this be okay with you?
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. This is all yours.
Because hours.
All ours.
Because what I see in the world, what is success? And to a lot of people, what instantly click into their mind when it's the topic of success is a lot about money and having a certain position or fame. And this is certainly true, but what I saw during my whole life is that success is so much more. And success to me also has to include fulfillment, and fulfillment in all areas of the life, and not only in your, for example, profession. I saw so and still see, especially also again here in Frankfurt, so many people, still even very young people, running this rat race and just faster and more. And then, and now it's part of my story, what I encountered during my life is, no, sorry, but I'm always thinking in a lot of different aspects. I have to tell the audience that I have two professional backgrounds. The one is a medical one. I'm a trained osteopath for over 30 years and naturopath, and as well a consultant. And what I saw, especially in my medical practice, but also when people come to me for consultant, but in the medical practice, it's people are often come to me, and I had very successful and very wealthy clients. I had multimillionaires sitting in front of me, looking at me and telling me, oh, life has no meaning for me anymore, or having severely sick and they somehow lost themselves on the way to success. And this is what still really touches deeply my heart, that I say, why? It's still so that often first there has to be a severe physical condition, a life-threatening situation, a death of a loved one, or any severe crisis, so that people wake up and see, oh, there is more than this rat race. And this is a little bit part of my mission, and what I love to remind people of, that there are other ways to go the success way, that you don't have to follow the masses, how it's generally done. And yeah, this is what my hearts tell me, and this is what I just tell people, and there are other ways.
So your journey for the teaching the leadership and helping the CEOs has been 30 years. And what you're saying is that you have seen the millionaires and who feels end of the day, broken, and who kind of see themselves not finding themselves in peace and also fulfillment. So what did you discover?
Exactly.
What did you discover in this journey, and why so? What is your learning, if you can share it?
Yeah, my personal learning was exactly this, that while growing up, I feel very fortunate that I'm blessed with healing capacities and also certain kind of clairvoyance. So even as a little child, I could see somehow behind the masks of the people, and I always loved people. And for example, my mother always said, "Oh, how can she be so courageous?" She, as a child, was so anxious and didn't want to go towards people. But I always was open, even as a little girl. And but then I had the gap between what I feel and see and how people act. And then, to make long story short, somehow I tried it out to live my life like everyone does it, or like well-meaning people. For example, my parents told me you can't just live your life following your intuition and what feels good to you. So I truly took this journey to try it out, to do it the other way, and ending up totally exhausted. I'm feeling very blessed that because I have a lot of energy, that a lot of things I aimed for, I was often very successful, but at a very high price, and being very exhausted. And now during the years, I came back more and more to do it my own way. And I found out that it really takes courage not to go the way that all the masses go. Not because, just an example, because you hear often, it has to be hard. No gain without pain, and all these sayings, and get out of the comfort zone. And what if just the opposite is true as well? And then what if there is another way to create success in a healthy way? And this is what I had the courage to somehow reconnect to myself during my journey. And now I can pass it on with all my knowledge, my own experience, to other people. And I can really see how it's beneficial if people first reconnect to themselves. And we all have this beautiful inner wisdom in ourselves, and to reconnect to it, and there within lay all the answers.
So that is actually, what I'm hearing you is actually, what I understand is connecting our own self and taking the control of own self, which in turns
Exactly.
owning myself, and also know thyself. These are the things that, right?
Yeah.
So how can we really, first of all, connect our own self? How? What is the mechanism? What is the process that you can help us to understand in a bit deeper way as well?
Thank you for asking this. This is a short question and somehow a lifelong answer. I don't have all the answers, but so far I'm love, because besides my what I call my energetic healer part, I also have the scientist inside myself, and I'm feeling so blessed that modern science like neuroplasticity, epigenetics, back this up, what all old healing traditions and religions have taught us, that somehow to reconnect with yourself. And you asked how. First of all, you can train it. And a lot of people are trained in our life to deny their feelings. To deny their feelings and their intuitions. For example, it's years ago, I made a study with my clients when someone got in trouble with something, no matter which kind of. I asked them, what was your first impulse when you entered the situation? And nearly 100% of the people told me, oh, I got like a feeling, oh, don't do this. And then another level of authority may be people surrounding you, or outer authorities like teachers or doctors or higher authority, or what we give the power to, or even our inner authority. They tell us, no, you have to act in a different way. And then sooner or later, and then people do it the other way. And then it turned out sooner or later that often the first impulse was right. So this is one easy method, at least to listen to this first impulse, to your first gut feeling, what your heart tells you. This is a good hint to say, okay, at least stop and look at this in a more deeper way. So this is one thing. And listen to what your body tells you. A lot of people are trained as well in our society to take pain, not really serious. Okay, then you take a pill so that you don't have pain anymore. And in my lectures, I like to ask people, oh, what do you do when you are driving your car and a warning sign just lights up? And do you put a smiley over it and keep on driving? And everyone is somehow like shocked. No, of course not. If there is a warning signal, la 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 la, you have to take care of it. And then I say, but then why you do the same thing with your body? So people ignore often their bodies and the sign of the body. And our body is so full of wisdom, and also a reflection of, you can call it soul, higher purpose, our higher self.
Higher self, right? So what is the higher self is all about? What is the higher self?
It's always a little bit difficult with expressions, but what I know for sure, and I on purpose say that I know it because I experience it on a daily basis, that we are more than our physical body. We are more than what we think and feel. There is something more. We are all energetically beings, and there is a higher realm, no matter how you call it. And this is somehow a source which is guiding us.
So that meaning that we are a spiritual being on human condition. Is it something like this?
On a physical journey.
On a physical journey. Like, I mean, a lot of us, we are actually unable to own ourselves, right? I mean, who we are, what we have been given in terms of capabilities, capacities, and unlimited potentials. And how really do we own our own self? You know, if you can help us to understand these tactics and technique as well? Taking control of ourselves, something that you teach?
Controlling is more the next step. I think there is, first thing is to be true to yourself, no matter what other people tell you, or even they are well-meaning. For example, parents are good friends. They are often very well-meaning, but they only can tell you things out of their own experience. And for example, my mother always told me, "You never listen." And I said, since I was a little girl, I said, later on I started to argue with her, but I remember being little girl, say, "Of course I'm listening." But in an adult language, I would say, okay, I listen, but then I take the responsibility to make my own decision and prove it. Is this true for me? And this is what I also mean by own yourself. This doesn't mean that you have to close up to the world. There are so many inspirations out of the world, but a lot of people are running behind teachers and influencers, and of course they are successful, but they do it their way. And then people try to imitate, and perhaps it just doesn't suit them. It's me, like a woman, from time to time, I really love to dress up, right? And then it can also be when I'm somewhere and watching another lady say, "Oh, this is such a gorgeous dress she's wearing, and she looks so gorgeous and stunning." And somehow knowing at the same time, this dress wouldn't look stunning on my body because it doesn't suit me. This doesn't mean this other lady wearing this dress is looking absolutely amazing, but this doesn't mean that it fits to me. And I think this is the key, to be honest, to say, okay, I look around in the world, be inspired, and then, like, I love to eat, so this is why I often have eating examples. But if you are just get presented a buffet, you are free to choose and say, okay, perhaps I'm going to try this one, taste it out, never tasted it. No, doesn't taste good to me. This doesn't say anything about the quality of the food you just chose, or if anyone will like it or not. It's just because of yourself, and we are all so unique. And I think to be honest to yourself, is this right for me? This is crucial. And it's not always easy, because we all want to belong, and yeah.
Understanding and then choosing, right? And deciding my own course of action. So that takes a lot of courage, and that also takes a lot of confidence as well, in order to take control of our own abilities, our own thoughts, and to shape up our own future. It is all about the courage and ability to have the confidence of the own abilities as well. Only then we can create our own future, right? Because the future is within us, and we can create our own future because of the spiritualities, because of the spiritual being of its mankind. I mean, as a nature of mankind. So, and we tend to forget how we can create our own self out of our own decision. And we sometimes depend on the exterior things and external materials and external objects to bait our our intentions, or to bait, or to be satisfied, or to be successful as well, the material part of the world. So tell us something about the success from the feeling of within versus the material part of the objectives. because you have been experiencing then, you have seen it, a lot of multi-millionaire and a lot of exterior successful people, those whom we feel that they're successful because of their possessions, because of their position, because of the authority, and because of the belongingness. But eventually you have found them, they are kind of empty inside. Life, they don't have the fulfillment, they don't have the inner peace, and they don't feel like it's worth living the life here in this earth.
I find it very important to not forget that we are living in a physical world, but in this physical world, most people are more on a reactive mode. They react on outer circumstances, events, what other people do or don't. And the true mastery lays within that you create the circumstances. And this is somehow our birthright. And if you look at physics, I see that how people see our world and how things are just put into action into the physical world is very much determined by the Newtonian physics, which is quite old. I'm not good in remembering dates or don't know his physics law, but a long time passed. Do you agree? And we now know, and quantum physics is backing it up, that we are all energy. And if you include it, and this also you can train, and it's not like you sign up for a fitness studio, go there once, and you just are successful, have the endurance and the body you want. It requires training, and I think this is a lifelong journey that we always create ourselves anew, but to somehow reclaim this birthright and reclaim your own mastery. I think the first thing is to say, okay, to make myself clear that I'm not the victim of circumstances. I create it, and I can create it how I want it. And it works.
Absolutely. I mean, that is the quantum physics, right? That you're talking about. The earlier you talk about the Newtonian physics, and then we have understood our existence and how we think, how we behave, and how we create. All of the thoughts of that we generate from our head, from our mind, is actually the physics, the law, the energy, and ultimately it vibrates, and ultimately it goes to the universe and attracts the similar vibration that it matches with that thought, and then creates the reality. Is it something you're talking about? If you can help us to elaborating a bit more.
Yeah, this is such a complex topic. Thank you for asking these wonderful questions. And I'm always just first muting because I said, oh, I could talk and talk and talk, and I don't want to just get our audience bored. Not quite sure where to start. Perhaps you could reframe your question, please, and then perhaps it's easier for me to point something out.
The quantum physics and the compared to the Newtonian world, right? The quantum physics, gives us the light that whatever we are thinking it is an energy, and then it is a vibration. Energy, it is a vibration, and then it goes out from a head. So it has certain frequencies as well, right? When it comes out of a thought, it goes vibration and then energy in this part of the world, and then it matches of the certain frequencies wherever the similar kind of thoughts, similar kind of energy, and similar kind of vibration, and then it brings the reality.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's
Exactly.
what it is. It.
Yeah. What we are talking about here, I always love to study these principles, and I'm so grateful for all the people who are contributing to this and who are studying it, how we can apply these laws. What I'm following for years and years and years is, to me, wonderful work, for example, of the Heart Math Institute. You heard of it?
No, I don't know really about it.
They do an incredible work of scientifically studying the power of our heart, of our emotions. And for example, they measure the electromagnetic field around our heart. And so they can prove how we can influence through the way we feel, not only our internal environment in our body, which is very important to create health, but also through the power of feeling to create and influence our whole world. And when I say whole world, I mean whole world. They made beautiful experiences, what they call coherence experiment. So they have certain measures.
Sorry.
Okay, doesn't matter. And they have measuring points all over the world, and they see the change in the electromagnetic field of the earth when people meditate at the same time, for example. So coherent. And studies like this are so beautiful, but on a certain level, they don't say anything else what is written in the religious scriptures of our ancestors. For example, I'm not very good in the Bible, but I know that you can find sentences there. The key for manifestation is to be grateful for what you are wishing for and feel the feeling as if it is already happened. So this is what I mean by we have the knowledge in hidden scriptures already, and now I think it's also a sign that's coming more in the common consciousness in our world, which makes it so much easier for everyone. And you have, when you look around in the world, and the internet is a wonderful tool for this, also to connect with these kinds of people who are on the same track. And this is also something I always recommend to people: join with like-minded and like-hearted people, because then as more people are following the same then you create a bigger morphogenetic field, which helps also you yourself and your environment, and it's easier to grow together and to co-create. And you do a perfect contribution for this.
I'm just learning. I'm into the what I consider myself. I'm just a student of primary level of this consciousness and I mean, how we can create out of our own thoughts, own beliefs, and how we can train our mind. This is something really interests me, and it is really interesting indeed, because what you are saying is we have the abilities to create our own world, right? Isn't it? And have insight the beliefs, ultimately the belief system, and how the belief system has formed, and how we can change our belief system as well. That also determines a future. You know, the kind of uh, the kind of exterior world that we want in future, that depends on our belief system, right? That depends also our thoughts, our, our thought pattern indeed. So what do you I mean, how it works ultimately? A lot of people, they blame the exterior things, right? The exterior world, the outside things, the circumstances. Because of this, I don't have education, I don't have higher education, I don't have, good or better universities, or I'm from this part of the world, I'm black, I'm white, or I'm less fortunate, and for that reason I haven't achieved so much. So this is something, the common things, that is common tendency of human being, like to blame something else, isn't it?
There are so many ways to live a life, and I don't want to offend someone, but my inner attitude is to blame someone else, to blame outside is first the most easier part, which also means I'm not taking responsibility for my own life, to give myself permission to be the victim. But then you are not free. And if you say, okay, I take responsibility for everything what happens in my life, then, and this for me is then the true freedom of life, when I take this responsibility, I have the freedom to choose. I have the freedom to create other circumstances and another life, not in a second, but it's a process. Freedom, am I reacting to what I encounter? Or am I just saying, okay, this is the way it is? And this is for me also a key point to say, okay, that's the way it is right now. Thank you. And when I personally encounter something I don't like, before I try to fight it and and now I don't fight it anymore. I say, okay, I call it holy contrast. I think, okay, welcome, holy contrast. You show me something what I don't like at all. And through seeing what I don't like, even if it's bad, I become so much about what I truly want. And now because I have it more clearer, I can put all my energy into what I want. So like, you don't blame the signal in your car, for example, when the gas is running low. You don't shout at this sign and say, stupid sign, why I have to stop now at the gas station, blah, 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 blah. No, I say, okay, this is a sign, I have to stop at the gas station and then refill my tank, and then I can continue driving. And this is even things are easier and easier to corrections in my course of life. And this reminds me of lived close, more south, close to the Swiss border. And I went once a month for a weekend to give treatments to people there. and we also did a weekly meditation, no, monthly meditation there. And one sentence I always said, coming from my heart, everything is all right like it is, just because it is. And most of the Swiss people, generally spoken, are not so spontaneously. They are more reserved, at least at the first encounter. And I had a lady there. And half a year later, she said to me, "Oh, Sophia, can I talk with you?" I said, "Sure." After the meditation, she said, "I have to confess something." I said, "This one sentence made me, whenever you said everything is all right like it is, and it's good like it is, just because it is." And I was always so angry. I was in such a say things like this. But now I got it, she said. It's totally true. And this is what I always say, people. We can talk here for hours and hours, and talking even out of our own experiences. But as long as someone doesn't make her or his own experience is all blah, blah, blah. The only thing that counts in life is to make your own experience. And I think this is a decision everyone can make. If they are not content with their life. Am I giving myself the chance to try something out new? And for a certain period of time to do certain steps and see if it's working for me or not. Like you taste some food and say, I first have it or not.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. It's indeed wonderful listening to you, and I wish that we could continue the conversation and because this is so fascinating. Because this is my interest. This is my this is where I study. This is where I love to learn. This is where things fascinated me, and this is something that I would continue listening hours after hours and after hours, and I would never be bored. The entire day I have been with the training programs and up, and this is about 11 p.m. I'm listening to you, and I'm really fascinated the way you believe, the way you think, and the way you transform, help others to transform indeed, and spreading this positivity, the love and affection, and helping others to believe in themselves and understanding their own self in terms of owning their own decisions and taking control out of their life, what they want out of their actions. This is so powerful things to learn and understand and observe. So one last thought from you, and then probably we can say goodbye for tonight for our audience and everyone. It's been, thank you those who are just watching and joining and would be watching in future, because this is something we are leaving behind.
Yeah. I first want to thank you, Kamrul, for setting this up and asking these wonderful questions. And it's so good to be offering here, what we are offering here. It's not for everyone. And I encourage everyone just to take what they want to just try out, or they leave it on the table, and all is well. And from my heart, I say, the only thing I know that is good for everyone at every moment in time is unconditional love. And besides unconditional love, nothing is good for everyone at every moment in time, because we are in a changing process. And here someone wrote, okay, the people, the stories are always the same. The stories are mostly always the same, because people encounter the same challenges, even they come in different phases and circumstances. But trust yourself. I just can tell everyone, trust yourself, your own feeling, no matter what anyone else, including me, is telling you. Just look what resonates with you in a positive way, and then try it out.
Absolutely. Unconditional love. This is something I take from this conversation, and probably if we really love unconditionally to ourselves, anything is possible, and everything is everything is the possibilities indeed. And probably the world could be a bit better place if we can love ourselves unconditionally, because it's a question, do we really love unconditionally to our own self? If it is so, then probably we can be something else, and we have the capacity to become something else and to help many others to become something else as well. This is love, this is service to the humanity, this is to the spirit. And if we all help others to do it, to achieve it, probably we can leave this world a bit better place for our generations, those who are coming in future. And I wish that I can contribute in this planet on the humanities in positive growth, and I believe that together we can create that situation and that environment, and I look forward that days. Thank you, Sophia, for your time, for your passionate uh, sharing the wisdom, the knowledge, your experience. I truly, truly admire your love, your true love, unconditional love, and let love be the religion for all of us. And we can live only through the love, because we, as you said rightly, we are in transition. We are just in a station that to be transited very soon, and we don't know when it is that. So for that reason, we look forward to see in another station somewhere in another planet probably. Until then, take care. Goodbye. Every one of you, those who are watching and listening, do take care of yourself. Thank you, Sophia, if you want to say something.
Just thank you. So beautifully said. And yeah, let love spread out. It's the most powerful, energy we have.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Absolute. Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure. I love you. I love you all. Those who are watching right now. And with you. Take care and God bless you. Good night.